one nation of people. That's no different from the Kikuyu and the Maasai. Not two separate distinct nations. The culture is the same because, yes, Nubia was the mother. As we repeatedly said, the oldest kingdom found in Nubia was Tasseti, going back over 26,000 years in the area of Kustul. As I said, Bruce Williams, who did the excavations in this region from the Oil Institute, have dug up many of the artifacts to validate that, in fact, Nubia was the mother and, yes, Egypt was the daughter. But again, we find a continuous breakdown. Even the breakdown is even further when we get it into the theological racist concept in the origins of man. Meaning that the theological origin of man, Ham, Cush, Canaan, and Punt. Those are the theological racist interpretations of the origin of man. For instance, the Africans in this region biblically would not be considered Africans, but considered Hamites. Black Caucasians, as they call them. This is just an allegorical racist myth that was brought on early by the early Sanhedrin priests. You can't take and put a biblical story on the information that you see here. Those are just allegorical myths that you can't find nowhere. You can't go and show me no Cain, and you can't go and show me no Ham, but here you can come and see Osiris written, the long legacy that's on the temples here. You can't connect that with this, because these people came and stole these concepts from here. So when we start talking about and connecting the allegorical stories of the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran, you cannot connect that with this. This is other people's interpretation of African people's history. Whether we deal with it anthropologically, with the Caucasoids, Mongoloids, Negroids, this is another anthropological racist interpretation of the origins of man. And we have to continuously look at that. We can't continuously find ourselves locked into a biblical interpretation trying to identify our history. Because if you do try to identify your history on that level, then you would have to justify the fact that you were cursed by God in the Ham story. As the Ham story tells us that these early Jews wrote against African people. Why? Because they were stealing everything from here, as we'll see as we proceed along with our journey.